So, new characters have dropped, obviously, with the Spider-Man Far From Home movie. Molten Man, Hydro Man, and Electro. To save time and effort, I'm going to throw all of these in just one video. Just to save time. Won't save myself time and effort. I would go over each character individually, but I already went over the last batch all together, so why not? Molten Man! Oh my. Oh dear. Oh man. It looks so. It looks scary beyond all. This is wow. In terms of graphics, this is a huge step. This is a huge step up in graphics. Wow. Alright. Mark Raxton. Super villain. 6'5". 550 pounds. I mean, probably dropping weight as he walks. Human. Male. Abilities. Pure evil. Durability. And flame. When corrupt scientist Mark Raxton tried to steal an experimental liquid alloy he was developing in Oscorp, oh great, that's obviously bad. He accidentally spilled the substance all over himself. The alloy turned his body into a solid metallic substance, giving him super strength and the ability to generate intense heat. With his newfound powers, he turned to a life of crime as Molten Man to satiate his greed. Combat type character. Oh wait, first, to acquire this character you get him at the shop. He's also available on the event as of right now, so you can get a head start. So, combat type character whose stats are basically going to be at the normal max, which is 6 stars and 6-star mastery. His physical attack rounds to about 5,500. Physical defense is at a low ball 3,500 or 3,600. Energy defense is also at a low ball 3,200. While HP is at 16k. This is obviously before you apply any passive buffs, as I mentioned in every single video that I've done of this. Try to. So, at tier 2, his physical attack shoots way up to 7,200. His physical defense shoots up to 5,100. His energy defense shoots up to 4,500. His HP shoots up to 19,000. At the maximum potential, which will put him at level 70. His physical attack will top at 8,100. His physical defense will sit at 6,000. His energy defense will sit at 5,400. HP will sit at 21,000. Leader skill applies to all allies, 45% increase of all defenses. That's pretty good, to be perfectly honest. Passive Fire Eater increases damage dealt by 30% from all foot to start over. Normal passive. Fire Eater applies to himself, increases all damage dealt by 30% from skills to flame type characters. Why is that worded so weirdly? %70 chance to become immune to fire damage. So is that two characters with the flame ability, which there's not that many. Or is that all characters with the flame ability will be able to deal more damage? Either way, what the heck. Tier 2 skill. Applies to himself, increases skill damage by 30%, increases bonus damage by 15%, decreases all damage received by 25%. Activation when the skill Lava Flow is used, which applies to himself, 100% chance for immune to all damage for 5 seconds. Cooldown time of 1 second. Pretty cool. Active skill, Magma Bomb, deals bind, 20% burn damage, and stun. Well, 20% burn damage for every 1 second for 3 seconds, stun for a second. Lava Bind, decreases fire resistance by 30% for 4 seconds, paralyzes enemies for 2 seconds, stuns enemies for 3 seconds. And more fire damage. Burn! On fire! Lava Flow increases character size by 15%. All attack increase goes up by 30%. All defenses go up by 30% for 10 seconds. Super armor and all defense goes up by another 15% for 7 seconds. Fire damage 101% of physical attack. And then you have eruption. Bind for 2 seconds. More burn damage for 20% burn damage for 5 seconds. Stun for a second. And more fire damage. Molten Core. Applies to enemies, decreases fire resistance by 30%. Deals 30% burn damage for every 1 second. For a second. Bind for a second. Fear for 4 seconds, stun for 3 seconds, and then applies to himself. Increases all attacks by 20%, all speed by 1%, critical rate by 20%, removes incapacitation, fire, and more fire damage. Oh, this might be the fire character if you ever wanted one. I mean, you had Inferno, but Inferno was I didn't mean the previous skill. Well, we'll just look at the team. We'll look at the team outs on the game. Okay, he just runs in. I thought he would like melt his way in, like I am liquid, and then just feel like now I am solid. All right, so let's go attack from far away. Tackle. He tackles you. And just swings his big giant fist and a close attack. Skill 1. That's quite the range, to be honest. Okay, not that much, but anywhere around him, even to his backside, they will get damaged if they're too close. Skill 2. Okay, so he just makes a lava pool where you're standing. Like, yeah, like you're not going anywhere because you're stunned at that same time. It's like, where are you going? Oh, you got a hot foot. Sorry, fire. So yeah, I can help you with that. Skill 3. Now he's bigger. So now he's bigger. Okay then. Skill 4. Bit of a tantrum, man. Oh, wow. And the skill keeps going. The skill keeps going even after he's finished the animation. And that allows you to set up for whatever the heck you feel. And it's like just melt. Oh! Oh! Went for the big dive. He dived off the big board. That's pretty cool. I like the animations, to be perfectly honest. So, to acquire his character. Well, his team bonuses. Obviously, because there's 2 other flame characters. He teams up with... How can I ever think of his name? With Inferno and the Human Torch. That gives him the bonus combustion, which, yeah, that's probably the only one you're going to need. Because the rest of these, okay. Untouchable teams up with Colossus, teams up with Daredevil, Heat Vision, if you say so. Teams up with Green Goblin, which he hasn't had really anything for a while. Burn the Spider. Teams up with Spider-Man. Teams up with Punisher. Teams up with Electro and Rhino. I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say that you probably just want to have a free fire user. Remember, you get this guy through the shop, which how much does he cost in terms of crystals? He's not on the shop. Alright, yeah, he is 2,500 crystals. So you're probably gonna need like 2 separate purchases to get this guy. Like 2 or 3 separate purchases, because you need one to like get the character, which will probably get him at like, I don't know, like at 5 or 6 star, whatever. And then you're gonna need like another one just to like upgrade his gear, so you can get him up to tier 2. That's it for the Molten Man. Let's go to the Hydro Man, which this has to be an animation, right? Not exactly what I expected. I mean, the last time we seen Hydro Man was back in the 90s. For that Spider-Man cartoon, and he was madly in love with Mary Jane. And I never got that ending to that arc. And it turned out the Mary Jane that he married was a water code. It was just a water code that evaporated. And it's like, and it's like, so basically, if you don't know that one, and I advise you to go watch it. Even me spoiling what happens will not do it justice. Like, it's not going to do it justice as to what happened. But basically, Spider-Man finally marries, Peter Parker finally marries Mary Jane. Like, he reveals himself to Mary Jane as Spider-Man. He's like, Mary Jane, I have something to show you. And it's like, and it was our soap opera as a kid. Like, we didn't know it. It was our soap opera. We were like, oh, what? Like, yeah. Like, when the moment all of us saw that scene as a kid, we were like, what? And then it just went over to like the next part, which apparently Hydro Man came back after they got married. And no one could, like, there was no explanation as to why he came back and he's like, oh my god, like, what? Mary Jane married Peter Parker. Oh, I ain't gonna have this. So he goes to kidnap Mary Jane. He kidnapped, like, Spider-Man obviously goes to take him down, because it's like, hey, that's my woman. Like, we're married now. Back off. And like Hydro Man's about to finish off Spider-Man. Like, because he's like, I will not let anything stand between me and my love. So before he finishes off the Spider-Man, Mary Jane apparently has water powers, the same water powers as Maury Bench. And everyone's going like, wait, and at that point everyone's going like, wait, why? Apparently a scientist, well, in that universe of Spider-Man, a scientist created a clone for Maury Bench, who became Hydro Man. And he basically brought Hydro Man back to life. He basically brought him back to life, so to speak. But he also created Mary Jane as a clone. But that Mary Jane was unstable. Like, that Mary Jane was an unstable clone, and she was fading away just like Maury Bench was. So, and apparently, like, that clone was just meant for him, not for Spider-Man. But she didn't have any memories, and she ran off hysterical and everything. And it was just like, we're like, no! Like, we can't have that! At that time, we didn't know that Spider-Man was all about having a tragic love story, or just having tragedy at every single turn. We're like, no! Like, they just got married! And the last word Mary Jane says is like, don't worry, Parker. I'm sure if you find the real Mary Jane, she'll marry you, like, she'll love you just as much as I do. And we're like, but he showed everything to you, not her. Like, heck, she might freak out. Because at that same time, the real Mary Jane was missing. You had no idea where the heck she was. Like, she was just missing. And she was just gone. Like, and we just concluded, like, okay, well, she's just gone. She ain't coming back. So the episode after that, Mary Jane's back. Like, Mary Jane's back. Her and Spider-Man are married, and it's like, what? Like, we don't see him, like, go retrieve the real Mary Jane? Like, it just happens? Like, okay. Anyway, done with that tangent. Hydro Man, who apparently is now in Spider-Man Far From Home. Maury Bench, a cargo ship crewman, was accidentally knocked overboard by Spider-Man and sucked into an experimental underwater generator. Yep, that's pretty much how it worked. That's pretty much how it happened in the cartoon. The cells in his body were turned into water, transforming him into the villain known as Hydro Man. Actually, I think he was one of the creative villains in the cartoon. I don't remember. Standing at 6'2", 265 pounds, he is a super villain with the only ability of pure evil. And that's another thing about Spider-Man, is that essentially a lot of the villains, if you don't know, like, essentially a lot of the villains are created simply because Spider-Man exists. Either it was caused in a way, most of the villains that Spider-Man faces are created indirectly because of him. Either because he existed or because someone was at the wrong place at the wrong time. And Maury Bench's case, he was at the wrong place at the wrong time. But yeah, a lot of the villains get created simply because Spider-Man exists. Anyway, he is a blast type character whose stats at level 60 and max mastery. A physical blast type character because his physical attack is 4,400, his physical defense is 3,600, his melee defense is 3,600, HP is 13,800. At tier 2, his physical attack shoots way up, practically doubling to 7,000. His physical defense jumps up to 5,000. His energy defense hits about 4,000. His HP hits about 16,000. Give or take. At the maximum potential, physical attack will sit at 7,800. Physical defense will sit at 800. Energy defense will sit at 4,600. HP will sit at 18,000. Leader skill, running water, applies to all allies. Oh wow. Yo, this is actually, we kind of needed this a long time ago, but hey, this is still useful. Immunity to bleed effect, immunity to fracture effect, and 20% increase to physical defense. Yo, I can run with that. Normal passive activation when a skill but regular attacks is used. Applies to himself, increases all attacks by 7%, all defense by 7%, and stacks up to 5 times. Deduct 1 stack if he's burned for 15 seconds. Okay, that's interesting. That's very detailed. Next effect activates after 3 uses. Wait. Oh. Increases character size by 20%, all attacks by 40% for 10 seconds, all defense increased by 40%. Wow. Okay, so first off, he gets up to 5 stacks. He gets up to 5 stacks, which basically, if I'm understanding this correctly, these are permanent. The first set of stacks, all the attack and defense buff by 7% stacks up to 5 times, so there's 2% size. Anyway, so he'll max out at a bonus of 35% for attack and defense, and only gets 1 stack debuff if burned, and it stays. If I'm to understand this correctly, I'm probably completely wrong. I am probably completely wrong. So after 3 uses of each skill, he gets another buff until he gets 5. That is a stage. That is a normal stage. That is certain fights as well. If that works the way I'm thinking, then that could make him a very dangerous thing. Tier 2 passive. When using the enlarged buff, he gets super armor and all defense increased by 30%. Increases seal damage by 40% and increases bonus damage by 45%. Yo. Power of water, people. I wish they did a bit better in terms of animation. This is just good. Water jet is energy damage, no physical attack. Living puddle stuns enemies for 3 seconds, and more energy damage, physical attack. Hydro serpent. 80% chance for immune to all damage, summons an immune with 50% of the summoner's stats for 10 seconds. Whirlpool guards against 5 hits, energy damage, attack. You can move the V-pad while using a skill. Vicious Tide, stun for 3 seconds, and then applies to himself 15% increase of physical attack. 148% of energy damage and physical attack. This one looking good. This is an animation nightmare, to be honest. But I don't really like the way he looks here. I wish he was just like a dude, but made of water. Well, that's what he is here. But I wish he was just like like he was standing, and he just like had that aqua look to him. If anyone, like, in fact, if you want to know what I'm talking about, like, go look up the 90s cartoon Hydro Man, where basically that guy was just like, he could go from he could basically go from like having normal clothes and normal look human body to essentially turning into water. And he just looks good, or whatever water color they gave him. And that was it. I would rather have that look than this here, where this just looks like some random monster that you would find in an RPG game or an action game. So I don't really dig the look. Anyway, you get this guy at the shop, which he costs 2,500 crystals, just like Molten Man. That's actually 3 skills. Yeah, it's kind of meh. So, lower bracket far away. You just throw water, and it's not exactly good. Up close. What? I feel like, I don't know. I just don't like this guy's look. Okay, so. Like a spread shot. The animation's so slow on that though. That's cool. Okay, it lasts for a certain time. It's like a water dragon just comes out of nowhere. Okay, so you have to keep the skills going. Dang, that sucks. That would have been epic if he had like permanent stats. Permanent stack up. I was like, oh, this character can go places. Like he will be the secret godlike character. Oh, he summons water dragons. That is cool though that he summons water dragons. I will give props to that. Alright. So, let's go 5. Tidal wave, go down the scale now. I like his skill 2 and his skill 3. So oh, water dragons! Now think about it. If I had a character in Naruto, that famous jutsu, that jutsu that was actually pretty cool for a while until much later, like at the beginning of Naruto, the water dragon jutsu. Instead of just having my water dragon just charge at the enemy, I would have it just shoot water. I think that would be a heck of a lot better. It just shoots water. I think that would have been cool. Not like those, but mine would be like it would just shoot like it would shoot like a fireman's or a fire hose like style of water. Or that thing would just be powerful enough to just blow you back. Anyway, that's Hydro Man. Hydro Man. Electro. Alright. Alright. I'm trying to comment on his look. I am trying to comment on his look. It's just that here's the thing about Electro. Every single Electro I've seen is pretty much weird. Like there's always some weird design choice in each and every Electro incarnation. The Spider-Man cartoon one just looked like, what the heck did you put on, sir? The 90s cartoon was like, what the heck did you put on? And then the Spectacular Spider-Man one. That one was kind of cool. That one was actually kind of cool because it's like, wow, like, that doesn't look half bad. And then I remember the 2017 Marvel Spider-Man one. And I was like, okay. Like, yeah, this one here, it's like he's trying to, it's like a superhero. It's like a superhero that got told no because his costume looked dumb. And he's like, okay, well now I'm gonna be a super villain. What now? The mask is kind of cool. Electro, speed type character. Maxwell or Max Dillon. While attempting to repair a Paladine electrical engineer, Maxwell Dillon was caught in a freak lightning accident that transformed him into a living electric capacitor. Able to generate and expel massive quantities of electricity, he uses his powers for evil and often collides head-to-head against Spider-Man. Oh, there's a Sinister 6 bonus. That's new. That is a new bonus, at least to me. It doesn't do anything though. I guess if you have Sinister 6 members together, you get like some sort of bonus. I didn't look at the team ups for Hydro Man. There you go. Sorry. Sinister 12. Okay. Wedding Get. Okay. Frightful 4. Sinister Syndicate. Fire in the Water. Unexpected Accident and Molten Man. Okay. Yeah. Well. I guess with Mysterio and Green Goblin. Probably want to turn Green Goblin back into his normal one though, because Green Goblin in the Transformed one is arguably, it's kind of arguable, but it's like it's not that good. Anyway, all right. Team ups. Sixth Sense. So he teams up with Daredevil and Spider-Man. Teams up with the Lizard. The Lizard? Lizard? I guess in the movies he did. But teams up with Rhino and the Lizard. Oh, I like the Lizard. Teams up with Dr. Octavius and Sandman. Teams up with Rhino and Molten Man. Teams up with Mr. Fantastic and the Invisible Woman. And that should be an interesting team up. You know, I just thought about it. Hydro Man should have elasticity. Hydro Man should have the elasticity bonus. Because he, like, essentially, like, I mean, he's water. Hydro Man and Molten Man, I mean, like, they can pretty much both do that. Do the same thing as Mr. Fantastic. Beat down, lightning storm, life of crime, unwelcome guest. Okay. So, to acquire this character, he's a premium character, so he better be good. Nobody's really explained like what would make Jubilee good. So he better not be another Jubilee. Where it's just like, oh, this looks great on paper. And I'm probably missing something when we put Jubilee. Heck, I'm probably missing something here because I mean, look at his stats. His energy attack sits at 5,200. His physical defense will sit at 3,700. His energy defense sits at 3,800. His HP sits at 12,800. And that is before applying the outside buffs in the game. At tier 2, his energy attack will go up to 7,340. His physical defense goes up to 4,300. His energy defense goes up to 4,400. HP goes to 15,200. At max potential, his energy attack goes up to 8,200. His physical defense goes up to 5,000. His energy defense goes up to 5,100. HP goes up to 17,200. Okay, not too bad. And he's a speed type with energy attacks, so that's cool. Leader skill, Sinister 6. Applies to any Sinister 6 allies. Increases all attacks by 40%, all defenses by 40%, all speed by 10%. So anybody that's part of the Sinister 6 is now viable again. I wonder if it applies to uniforms, because you had Dr. Octopus, and then you had and he has that Spider-Man uniform. I wonder if that still gives him the Sinister 6 buff. I mean, he's not part of the Sinister 6, but still. Anyway, leader, normal passive, unstable current, 70% chance to become immune to lightning. Become immune to lightning damage. Dodge rate increases by 15%. Applies to all allies. Increases lightning damage by 15%. So team him up with Storm and Thor. Thor. Who else does lightning damage in his name? Jane Foster. High voltage. Well, his tier 2 passive is high voltage. Increases guaranteed dodge rate by 20%. Increases skill damage by 30%. Increases bonus damage by 30%. Pretty cool. This is bad. Sorry I had to pause there. I was thinking about something. My thoughts trailed off for a minute. Skill 1. Adds stun and more lightning damage. Skill 2, Blue Streak. Increases lightning resistance by 20% for 3 seconds. Deals 20% shock damage for every 1 second for 3 seconds. Guards against 2 hits. Pretty nice. Thunderbolt. Bind for 2 seconds. Deals 20% shock damage for every 1 second. Stun for a second. Static Field. Deals 20% shock damage every 1 second, 5% decreased lightning resistance, can stack up to 45% for 5 seconds. Stun for 3 seconds, decreases all speed by 10%. Probably because there's bodies are seizing up from all the static electricity and just, yeah, being shot. Fires to himself, increases attack by 1.5 for each 1%. Oh, it's a true damage skill. So that actually makes him okay in my book. True damage cannot exceed 13% of his HP. It doesn't say max HP though, it just says HP. So probably his current HP. Still, max out his HP. Lightning damage. Skill 5, Lightning Strike. 20% shock damage for every 1 second for 3 seconds. 20% burn damage for every 1 second for 5 seconds. Stun for 3 seconds. Can you tell my voice is running out? Increases all attacks by 10%, all speed by 1%, critical rate by 10%, removes incapacitation for 6 seconds. Lightning damage increases lightning damage by 15% 5 seconds. This guy actually might be worth it, and I'm starting to see a trend here that this is the elemental damage update. Let's preview the skill. We've been talking for a very long time. Okay. So, from far away, shot, and it spreads. It has splash damage. Up close, same thing. Okay. Skill 1. It passes through you. Shock. Shock. Stop having fun. Stop having fun. You're doing a YouTube video. You're not about to have fun. Skill 2. Okay. 1 hand and 2 hands. Okay. That's cool. And it goes quite far. Skill 3. It can't be targeted once it fully starts up, and he comes down and strikes you with lightning. Strike my foes with righteousness. Oh wait, you're not righteous. Skill 4. He has a little electro field. He has the thunder shield from Sonic 3. And then put on. Oops, I lost my shield. Skill 5. Take notes, Pikachu. Take notes, Pikachu! Yeah! I would love for an attack to do that. I would love for, like, I would actually give Pikachu credit if he had a special, if his final smash, or like if his final smash, or if his, or in Pokken, his super move, or heck, in the anime, if he did that, like if he did this in the anime, zips around, and then it's like Electro.Well. Oh, like, dude, I would fall in love with it. I would be like, okay, Pikachu, you have finally earned my respect. Like, you have finally earned my respect, sir. That would be, like, I would love it if you did that. That would actually be cool if somebody animated that as well. Like if somebody animated that attack as like a Pokemon or just something else. That kind of reminds me of the Blitz from Devil May Cry 4. Because that thing pretty much essentially does the same thing as Electro. But yeah, that is Electro, everyone, and that is all the characters in this update. So, if I am to give an award here as to who I would throw my lot in with. For characters, like characters altogether concerning the update, we're gonna exclude Doctor Strange from this because he's Doctor Strange. If I didn't have, like, if Electro wasn't premium, he would definitely get it. I like the effects on Spider-Man's Far From Home uniform. I like the effects on that uniform. In terms of uniform looks, I have to give it a $20.99. In terms of character looks, I give it a $20.99 with his new uniform. Mysterio's new uniform, it's between Mysterio's new uniform and Molten Man in terms of what I like, in terms of the characters. Anyway, that is it for this update to Marvel Future Fight. There are obviously bonus missions thanks to the new characters being released. There's an event quest where you can go to the event shop and buy Molten Man, which will get you pretty much a jump start on him. Do not buy the Mysterio biometrics because you can get an easy 20 biometrics. Heck, you can get more than 20 biometrics in a run, or by going to a special mission. Well, I do like that suit too. I just don't like the mask. Anyway, that is it. I think there should be more. Doomsday. Oh, okay, I see what this is now. Okay, wait. Anyway, that is it. I am Brad Reed, the Gaming Mole. See you guys next time. Or heck, maybe never.